rent-free country. It's not rent-free country.
Leave me alone.
Give me rent.
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today we got another Mindseye video talking about this game and talking about the disaster that this game is. But we got another article here, and I'll link this article down below for you guys. But basically, a couple days, Leslie Benzies apparently had a meeting with his staff at Build a Rocket Boy, the people that made Mindseye, and Leslie Benzies plans to relaunch the game, which I don't even know how that's supposed to work. How are you going to relaunch the game? Maybe some people in the comments give me some ideas what he's going to do exactly, but I don't know what that's going to mean, considering that the game's already released digitally and also physically. I don't know what he's going to do. But what caught my attention the most is that Benzies had claimed that the reason that Mindseye had failed wasn't because he failed, but because of internal and external saboteurs. So apparently, according to him, there's some giant conspiracy where people are planning on sabotaging the game, which is just not true, and I'm going to basically give my thoughts on all of that. But anyways, let's take a look at this right here. Mindseye devs, UK workforce of around 300 received at-risk emails. As former GTA lead, Leslie Benzies finally addresses staff. Plans to relaunch the game. I don't know how that's supposed to work. Build a Rocket Boy, the Edinburgh, Scotland-based developer of Mindseye, has issued at risk of redundancy emails to its around 300-strong UK workforce following the disastrous launch of the game. Sources familiar with the goings on inside the embattled studio told IGN at-risk emails were also sent to staff at PlayFusion, which Build a Rocket Boy acquired late 2024. PlayFusion, whose CEO Mark Gerhard became a CEO of Build a Rocket Boy as part of the buyout, is working on a different game, a fast-paced FPS called Ascendant, which was meant to come out this year. Last month, IGN reported that Build a Rocket Boy had begun a redundancy process following the release of Mindseye. The standard 45-day consultation process kicked off on June 23rd, which according to UK law is triggered when an employer proposes 100 or more redundancies within a 90-day period. IGN understands Build a Rocket Boy currently has around 300 UK employees with 200 abroad. So that email pretty much confirms that they are going to fire a lot of people. We talked about this a few days ago, but around 100 people are going to get fired. And at the same time I will tell you this, I kind of feel bad for the developers of the game that tried, because there are going to be developers who tried, who actually wanted this game to succeed, who are being blamed for this, and I don't think they necessarily deserve it. I think people at the top deserve blame, especially Benzies. At the time, Build a Rocket Boy issued a statement confirming the redundancy process, insisting the cuts will let the studio focus on delivering ongoing updates and performance optimization for Mindseye, while also ensuring the long-term success of Build a Rocket Boy's future ambitions. Soon after Mindseye launched, Build a Rocket Boy said it was heartbroken over the issues players had faced with the game, and promised to release a series of patches to fix the significant performance problems, glitches, and AI behavior bugs. Rollout of these patches has begun. All the while, Mindseye's troubled launch saw the developer cancel sponsored streams, which reports players securing refunds, even from the normally stubborn Sony surfacing online. That's true. When you're trying to get a refund, Sony is very difficult to get refunds from for their games. I only had experience once with Sony. I accidentally purchased a game. I was just clicking through X a bunch of times. I accidentally purchased a game a long time ago on the PlayStation Store, but I called them right away within like 10 minutes, and we got the issue resolved. And they had given me a refund on the game I didn't even download it. But if you download a game from PlayStation, especially if you have it for more than a day, it's very, very difficult to actually get a refund. On Steam, which does not paint the whole picture of Mindseye's current popularity, the game hit a peak of concurrent player count of 3,202 on launch, but at a 24-hour peak of just 46 players. At the time of this article's publication, 26 people were playing on Steam, where Mindseye has a mostly negative user review rating. That's pathetic. That is 46 players. The game came out not too long ago. 46 people are playing it on Steam. That's pathetic. Story-driven action-adventure game Mindseye was initially designed to be a part of Everywhere, the Roblox for adults creation platform led by former Grand Theft Auto design chief Leslie Benzies. Build a Rocket Boy eventually switched to focus on Mindseye, but it has so far failed to do the business for the company. Meanwhile, Build a Rocket Boy sources told IGN that Benzies finally addressed staff following the release of Mindseye. In a brief video call yesterday, July 2nd, according to two people present who asked not to be named in order to protect their careers, Benzies insisted Builder Rocket Boy would bounce back and relaunch Mindseye, blaming the studio and the game struggles on internal and external saboteurs, among other things. The comments echoed those issued by Mark Gerhardt ahead of the release of Mindseye. The co-CEO hit the headlines for claiming there was a concerted effort by some to trash the game and the studio, suggesting people were being paid or using spam bots to post negative comments. The boss of publisher IO Interactive, which makes the Hitman game, subsequently issued a denial. Builder Rocket Boy sources told IGN that internally there is a desire for Mindseye redemption arc that would eventually see it become successful for the studio. But as staff face an anxious wait to discover their fate, there are serious questions over whether Builder Rocket Boy will be able to fulfill its post-launch roadmap for content, including the promised multiplayer mode on time. Builder Rocket Boy declined to comment when was contacted by IGN. Earlier this week, Builder Rocket Boy released Mindseye's third post on console, with a PC release to follow. We've watched hundreds of hours of gameplay. Okay, yep. Okay, and I'll show you guys the roadmap right here, right now. Okay, so this is the roadmap. We talked about this a couple days ago. There is supposed to be Hitman. Agent 47 is supposed to come out like around next month. I don't know how that's going to work. And in fall, there's supposed to be a multiplayer update, which I'm really curious how the multiplayer in this game is going to work. I'm actually generally curious on that. We don't have too many, open world multiplayer games out there anymore, but at the same time, the disaster that this game was, it's not really giving me much hope. Now, what I want to talk about is, I want to talk about this, this here. Benzies insisted that Builder Rocket Boy would bounce back and relaunch Mindseye, blaming the studio and the game's struggles on internal and external saboteurs, among other things. And Mark Gerhardt also said there was a concerted effort by some to trash the game and the studio, suggesting people were being paid using spam bots to post negative comments. And then the boss of IO Interactive actually denied it. Now, look, here's what I'll tell you about this. This is a bunch of nonsense, and I will tell you, as somebody who plays a lot of like open world games, especially like crime games, I will tell you, there is players out there that are so loyal to Rockstar. They are so loyal to Rockstar that they basically want every single GTA competitor to fail. There are people out there like that they don't want to give any GTA competitor a chance. They just want the game to fail. However, though, these groups of people are very small, and they have almost very little to no effect. Very little to no effect. When a game is good, regardless of the hate from the GTA fanboys that it gets, it will succeed. And I'll give you a perfect example of that. Saints Row 2. Saints Row 2, that was 2008, October 2008. I was around 13 years old. 13 years old I was when Saints Row 2 was coming out. And about Saints Row 2 is, when Saints Row 2 was coming out, there was people out there posting comments, and they were saying, oh, this game sucks, GTA 4 is better, Grand Theft Auto is better, Saints Row sucked before the game even came out. There was people that hated on the game. However, though, when the game came out, this had no effect whatsoever, almost none. No effect, none whatsoever. And Saints Row 2 got amazing reviews. It did really well. It ended up selling, I think it sold like 3 million copies. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. So Saints Row 2 did well. Maybe it didn't sell as well as GTA 4, but for, a competitor to GTA, it did really well. The only issue that Saints Row 2 had on launch is that the PC version had some bugs, but console version, like PS3 and Xbox 360 version of Saints Row 2, did really well. So the point that I'm getting at is that there was people out there that wanted Saints Row 2 to fail when it was coming out, but they had very little to no actual effect when the game was actually releasing. And I mean, how, like the thing is, how are these people going to affect like a game like Mindseye? Like, what is Benzies' argument here? Because he's not being very clear on that. Is he claiming that these people were like convincing, people to like not buy the game? Were they like, were they YouTubers that were like, spreading around videos telling people not to buy the game and stuff like that? And here's the thing is, people told you, Benzies, they told you that this game was not ready weeks beforehand, when you're no, let's rush the game out, let's get the game out. Because these corporate big shots, how they basically think is, they think, oh, let's roll the game out right now, and then we'll just patch it and fix all the things later. And here's the thing is, guess what, guys? I was not a Mindseye hater. I actually went into this game pretty optimistic. I did. I wanted this game to succeed. I wanted to have fun with this game. I wanted this game to do well. The reason I wanted Mindseye to do well was because I wanted a competitor to GTA. I did. I wanted an alternative, something I can play beside GTA. Like, there needs to be competition for GTA. GTA should not be the only open world crime game out there. So I wanted competition. And the same thing for Saints Row. When the Saints Row reboot was coming out, I wanted it to succeed. I did. I was an old fan of the old Saints Row games, but it was a disaster. It sucked. It was a terrible game. And the same thing with Mindseye. Mindseye sucked. It was bad. Like, the game doesn't even have a map. Like, how do you not even have a map that you can actually open, like an interaction map? And you can't even steal cars. You can only drive a specific limited of cars. There's so many cars in the world, but you cannot even drive all the cars in the game. It's oh my god. And then when you beat the game, the free mode thing is so weird. You're playing as this old guy with a gas mask running around with a bra. It's just the whole thing is just ridiculous. It's just nonsense. The story was at least somewhat decent, but the combat, the gameplay, everything else is just bad. The actors at least tried. I'll give it to them for that. The story actors, they did try. They tried their best, but it was just not ready. That game, I'll tell you, Mindseye should have been delayed for at least half a year, at least until Christmas. And if it was delayed until Christmas, I'm telling you, that game could have done much better. It could have. They could have fixed a lot of glitches. You know, they would have had an extra 6 months, you know, to work on the game. They could have gotten a lot more stuff done with the game, but nope, they wanted to rush the game out. And I think one of the reasons, while I don't have evidence for this, my personal belief, I think one of the reasons I think Benzies was so mad at Rockstar, I think he was so pissed at Rockstar for, you know, firing him in his conflict with Rockstar that he just wanted to get back at them and wanted to release this game as soon as possible. Because remember, GTA 6 was supposed to come out this year. So my best guess is that the release date for Mindseye was already planned well in advance to this, you know, in June. That's what they were planning for it. But what happened was GTA 6 got delayed. They didn't feel that they needed to delay Mindseye also. They thought that the game was perfect. There were so many YouTubers that were telling you that this game was not ready, you need to delay the game. But no, they were acting like everything was fine. And now they are basically claiming that there is some kind of, you know, effort to sabotage the game. And I will also say this on this. What the hell exactly with the external sabotage? The external sabotage, okay, you're claiming that there's like YouTubers and people that are trying to sabotage the game, but like I said, I was optimistic for this game. I wanted this game to succeed, but I faced the reality. When the game came out, I understand it sucked. It did. It was a bad game. It was one of the worst games I played. You know, Hernandez did a good job. So, you know, Hernandez, the voice actor who played as Diaz, he did a good job, and he's the main reason I kept playing through the game, because I like that actor, and I like the role that he did in Mindseye. But other than that, it was just not a good game. It wasn't. And then the internal sabotage. What the hell does he mean by internal sabotage exactly? Is he claiming that there are developers out there that were like trying to intentionally sabotage the game? They were intentionally trying to ruin the game? Like, what does that mean exactly? Internal sabotage? Like, that makes no sense to me, because that they're trying to sabotage the game to make the game look bad. Their job is at risk if they sabotage the game. And on top of that is Benzies you are the lead producer there. You should have been checking up on this game. You know, if you just had like a bunch of testers out there, like I'm saying is, you could have gotten a bunch of testers out there. You could have gotten people like me, other, you know, YouTubers, not even necessarily YouTubers. You could have gotten like hundreds of testers out there. There was testers apparently in the credits for like Mindseye, and I don't know what these testers were doing, that they did not notice these glitches, or maybe they did notice the glitches, but they didn't. They just weren't not Build a Rocket Boy and Benzies didn't listen to them. But like I said, is, you know, I would have gladly tested this game. I would have, you know, played the game early, tested it, and told them, you know, honestly what I thought of it, and I would have told them that this game is not ready. So I don't know, you know, what was going through his head that he wanted, you know, to release this game in this state. You are the producer. If anything, it's on you. You messed up. You did. You should have delayed this game. You should not have released this game, and now you are taking no responsibility. He did not say whatsoever. It's my fault. I messed up. I made a giant mistake. We're gonna fix this right now. Nope, none of that. It is external and internal sabotage, and now people are getting fired, but he's not getting fired. So that's what I'll say. That's what pissing me off, and I have lost so much respect for Benzies because of this. I have lost so much. It still baffles me that the guy who made GTA San Andreas, which is arguably the best PS2 game of all time, and then he made, you know, GTA 4. Which GTA 4, in my opinion, is the best GTA game of all time. And, you know, a game like Red Dead Redemption, and also helped work on GTA 5. Somebody that makes masterpieces like this could just make such a disastrous of a game like Mindseye. And, you know, and wrapping this up here, take a look at this right here. This is the Steamcharts for Mindseye. Look at this. This is just pathetic right now. This is for the people that are playing it on Steam. In a 24-hour peak, we had 34 people that are playing it. 34 people! 34 people that are playing Mindseye. Oh my god. Like, oh my god, 34 people playing Mindseye. And all-time peak, 1,393 players. And look, if we look when the game was released, you had the highest amount, but then it just dropped. Look at this. It's oh my god. One day it was 18 players on one day. 15 players on July 9th. 13 players here. Oh my god. Yep. Oh man, that's just terrible. Like, I don't see how this game is gonna, recover. But then we look at a game like here, Fallout 76. And the reason I like bringing up Fallout 76 is because Bethesda has had such a disaster with Fallout 76. But when it came to Fallout 76, they actually started listening to the community, and I gotta give them props to this. They started listening to the community, fixing a lot of updates. Yes, they did stupid crap over time. Sure, I'm not denying it that they didn't do more bad crap. But at least this developer was more willing to actually listen to their fans and actually communicate with their fans. And over time, they fixed this mess. But honestly speaking, it would take a miracle to fix something like Mindseye. Like, Fallout 76 was the reason that Fallout 76, I think, succeeded where Mindseye failed was because Fallout already has a large fan base. So before Fallout 76 even came out, it had a really large fan base. Mindseye did not have a large fan base before the game came out. Secondly, is this game was being routinely updated. Fallout 76 was being routinely updated. I cannot imagine Mindseye being routinely updated and them adding all this free content. I cannot imagine something like that. So, you look at a game like Fallout 76, people said that Fallout 76 was going to be a disaster, but, like, look at it now. It's like, an hour, all 24-hour all-time peak, 10,454 players, so it is, Fallout 76 has succeeded, but I don't think that Mindseye is ever going to reach that. I think that Mindseye is going to stay as a disaster as it was. And then if we take a look at Saints Row 2, I guarantee you, if I just look up Saints Row 2 on here, Saints Row 2 is probably destroying Mindseye 2. Let's see here, Saints Row 2. What is Saints Row 2? Saints Row 2, 24-hour peak, 140 people. 140 people. So look at that. In 24 hours, 140 people playing. It's Saints Row 2, a game from 2008, is destroying Mindseye. A new release, next-gen game. So that's what I'll say right there, is that the person that I blame the most is I blame Benzies, I blame these corporate big shots who wanted to rush the game out. I wanted this game to succeed, but it's not fair to the developers of the game who actually tried, worked hard. It's not fair to the actors like Hernandez who played as DS, who tried, that you decided to rush this game out, and it ruined all of their work that they had worked for on that project. But that's it. I guess time will tell to see whether Mindseye will actually recover, but honestly speaking, I do not think that Mindseye will recover. I will probably do a video covering the Hitman DLC when that comes out on Mindseye, and I'll also do a video covering the multiplayer when that comes out in the fall, if it even comes out at all. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.